Greetings. My name is Anthony Johnson. I'm a malware efficacy integration engineer based out of Atlanta, Georgia. And this is the Trusteer Pinpoint criminal detection demo. And in this scenario, we're going to focus on the suspicious access following a phishing event. Now, with that, we're going to profile the victim's legit device. And as the victim, we're going to get phished. And we're going to surrender our credentials, username and password. And as the fraudster, we're going to use the victim's now compromised credentials to log in from a new device and try to send money to a mule account. And from here, we're going to show you how Trusteer Pinpoint helps prevent fraud and shows that the legit user can still be able to conduct business. So right here in front of us, we have the victim's browser. So what we'll do, we're going to log in. And from here, let's put the username and password. And as we are in, quick, fast, and easy. Now, behind here, as you can see, this is the back-end console. And what this console does is it shows in real time the real-time API results that are displayed in a readable format, along with the raw API data from Trusteer Pinpoint, malware detection, and criminal detection. Now, the three statuses we want to focus on: fraud detection status, the live financial malware infection detection status, and the actionable bank policy. Now, for this instance, the fraud detection status is allow login. And as you can see here, no security threat was found within the with the associated client login, and it's going to allow all account activities without any restrictions. And also not infected for the live financial malware infected detection status. And this means that the client web browser was detected as not infected with a live financial malware infected browser malware. And hence the actionable bank policy will be to allow online transactions. Well, let's go on the banking website and do some transactions. Well, the first thing we want to do to see if we can do, let's go manage some payees and create something. So let's create test user 008. And his account number is 88888. How about that? Okay, and now if we look here, we can see that our user, once I get it sorted, is right there. Test user 0008. So if we go to the send money portion now, we want to send money to this user. We look in the select pay user list. We see test user 08, and we're going to send him $1,000. Select date is now. We kick off the send. The transaction was sent successfully. We have a transaction ID. So also now what we want to do, we want to send money to an incidental transfer. So this time we'll say test user underscore 009. And in this case, we're going to send $2,000. And his IBM number is 009. Select date is now, and we're going to send. Transaction was sent successfully. Let's get a transaction number. We can look at my account, and we can see clearly that the user 008 and 009 that we created when we created the user and sent it to user ourselves was done for $1,000. And then going through IBAN and the incidental transfer for $2,000 was sent as well. And also, if we look at again the fraud detection status, which is allow login, the malware infection detection status was not infected. That means the client browser was detected as not infected, and the actionable bank policy is to allow online transactions. So from there, let's log out. And we're going to look in our bank account and our email account anyways, and we get an email from our bank. I'm like, okay, cool. So we're going to log in our bank. and we're going to log in with the same credentials as we did before. Same username and password as we did before. But this time, check it out. We've just been phished. What we did was we submitted our credentials to not Bank E Moon, but Bank E Noon. And this is a website that we built for this demo. Now, the fraudster knows my username, which was ToneTest-Phished, and he knows that my password begins with an S and ends with an exclamation point, and also knows that we didn't use a token. Now, again, if this was a real phishing site, you wouldn't have seen this at all. It would have automatically and seamlessly, as this says, redirected you to a real Bank E Moon website without you even noticing it. So now we're going to switch browsers, and we're going to go over here, and we're going to log on to the website. And under this scenario, we're the fraudster, and now we have the username and password that we obtained through the website Bank E Noon, and that we used to phish those credentials. And we will log in, and we're going to do the same username and password that we did before. We know the password begins with an S and ends with a exclamation point. And like that, we are in. And as you can see under the My Account page, you can see the last two transactions that we sent for $1,000 and $2,000 are right there. So now if we look into the console, check it out. The fraud detection status is allow login and restrict. Now this means that the client session poses a high risk for account takeover. It's going to allow the login but restrict activities such as transaction to new payees and incidental transfers. And the reason specifically, suspicious access following a phishing event where we got phished before. Now it's checking the browser via the live malware infected detection status, and the client web browser was detected as not infected. And again, because of the fraud protection status being allow, login, and restrict being that the suspicious access following a phishing event, the actionable bank policy is now disable adding new payees, disable incidental transfers, and monitor the account. Please understand, with monitoring the account, you can configure Trusteer Pinpoint criminal detection to send an email to a user or group to take the appropriate actions accordingly. So now, if we go into the Bank E Moon website and we want to go to manage payees, and remember, we're the fraudster now. And again, we can't do this because of the actionable bank policy, which disabled adding new payees. And you get a system message here saying that this feature is down and cannot use this functionality. Now, understand this is integrated into the application and goes on all behind the scenes. So now the other place we're going to try to go is we're going to go into incidental transfers to see if we can send money to ourselves another way. Again, if you can still access all the users that were created under the legit user, the victim in this case, and all of the accounts that they have there. But when we go to incidental transfers, again, based upon the bank actionable policy disabling incidental transfers, this feature is disabled. Now let's kind of recap all this all together. So we had Trusteer Pinpoint criminal detection profile the victim's device. The victim was phished, therefore we were able to get the username and password, and then from that the fraudster stole those credentials. And then from there, the fraudster logs in to the victim's account with the stolen credentials. Trusteer Pinpoint criminal detection detected and alerted via the allow, login, and restrict, and and took actionable bank policies, and the fraud was prevented. And how was it prevented? It disabled by adding new payees, and it disabled incidental transfers. Now, one thing we want to show with this, and as I said before, we want to show that even though all this stuff is going on behind the scenes and the fraudster cannot manage and create payees or send incidental transfers, if we were to be the original user and to log in with, again, our legit password, we would still be able to add a payee and send money via incidental transfer. And again, going on behind the scenes, you can see how Trusteer Pinpoint's detection status for the legit user now has a status of allow login, the browser is not infected, and the actionable bank policy is allow online transactions. And again, there are no restrictions on this for the legit user. However, when the fraudster who gained the information via the phished email was allowed login, but it was restricted because of suspicious access following a phishing event. My name is Anthony Johnson, and this is the Trusteer Pinpoint criminal detection demo based upon a suspicious access following a phishing event. Thank you, and have a great day.